Okay.
Stella, take 2.
We have here at Plymouth just completed the 7 days of prayer, and I wanted to share some concepts from that training. In the training, the very first day, we prayed for families, which represents the wives, the husbands, grandparents, and children. And I'd like to share what some of the thoughts were on that day. One of the scriptures that was shared was Psalm 78, 6 through 7. It says that the generation to come might know, even the children yet to be born, that they may arise and tell them to their children, and they shall put their confidence in God and not forget the works of God, but keep his commandments. In Timothy 1:5, Paul writes about Timothy and that he had a mother and a grandmother that had prayed for him and had taught him to follow Christ, and that he was then going to be a missionary and serve with Paul. One of the other concepts I had found when we did this teaching was in Luke 2:52. It says, "And Jesus increased in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and men." And as grandparents and parents, we can pray for our children. I wanted to share 4 things with you that I felt were 4 areas that our children and our grandchildren need prayer in. One, from the scripture that I wrote here or quoted to you, is spiritual growth. In Luke, it stated, in favor with God. As the child, Jesus spent time in prayer and studied the scriptures. And that is something that we can teach our children, is to how to pray and to read the scriptures. Years later, Jesus was confronted with Satan and quoted scriptures to him. And as we face many of the same struggles that he did, we can also do that for us as coach scriptures to help us through our struggles. Another area is our physical growth, and that is in stature. In that scripture, it talks about in stature. And you hear a lot nowadays about healthy eating habits and physical exercise. That is something that we can guide our children into eating correctly and to getting the correct physical exercise. Another one in Luke tells us that Jesus increased in wisdom, and that is his mental growth. We can pray that God will lead them to subjects suited for what they want to be, and pray for their grades. Our teachers affect so much of our students today because they have them for a longer period of time than we actually do at home. So we can also pray for the teachers that they would guide our children in all aspects of their life. Also, spiritual growth. And in the scripture that I read in Luke, it says, increased in favor with men. That means he had gained the respect of those about him. Pray that our children and our grandchildren will make wise choices in the friends that they select and that they hang around with, that they have good moral issues and they walk with integrity. By praying for them, you are leaving them a great legacy for all the days of their life.